following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's Tuesday on Main Street Sports today, and we've got a full show for you. Today, coming up, Mike Korn, Columbia State baseball coach, will be joining us. Also, Chip Walters with the Blue Raider Network for his weekly visit. Plus, Joe Rexrode from The Athletic will be joining us as well. And it's Top 5 Tuesday. Hey, we're not done with the Super Bowl yet. We'll take a look at those commercials. So sit back and enjoy the next 90 minutes. This is Main Street Sports Today. Here are your hosts, the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
And 2006 Time Person of the Year.
Oh, man.
There we go. Oh, man. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I don't know. There's something in this building.
Hadn't coughed all day, huh?
I haven't coughed until we got on the air. It may be JP's voice.
It's not the building then. I mean, how long you been here?
Nobody's allergic to this voice.
I don't know. It's just weird, man. Anyway.
It's like honey.
You know what? We've not mentioned this, but sometime last week, JP got rid of the beard.
Yeah.
And he's just going with the goatee.
I saw that.
And, you know, I don't know how it's missed our pointing out until now, but
it's true.
What's
the deal?
What's the deal?
Lucille,
you want a story or do you want the truth?
I want a story, then I want the truth. How's that?
All right. A story, like to change the look every once in a while. The truth is both types of trimming razors that I use, certain parts broke to where it's an all or nothing type of thing now.
Gotcha.
Because just going and buying another trimming razor was...
Well, not in the cards just yet, so we're working on it.
Well,
we got to find the right one.
It's funny. That happened to me. When I was trimming my beard, and I do my mustache last, and the batteries ran out. And so I just had this like really thick mustache and a trimmed beard. And Sarah was like, no, what? I'm sorry. This is not going to work for me.
Yep. It's all right. It's been like 10 days or so. But
well,
okay.
it could have been worse because the last time I shaved my mustache off, I was trimming it. And it was one of those got too far, just got off lopsided on either side, and it was like
to start over
beyond repair,
the point of no return.
The start over point does happen sometimes. So I feel left out. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the goatee. Tomorrow I'll show up and
all the cool kids are doing it, Chris.
Apparently.
Despite popular belief, it does grow back
quicker than others.
Some
other hair.
Yes, some.
Man, if I heard that once, I heard it 1,000 times. Because when I was growing up, my grandfather used to cut my hair, and he always cut it too short. And, well, too short for me. Clearly not too short for him. And
you knew what you were getting.
But it was free.
Yeah.
So it fit
free,
the budget.
Free.
Got what you paid for.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
I feel you on that. Man, we do have a good show. Mike Korn, getting a chance to kick off baseball season here.
You don't kick off baseball.
Sure we do.
Come on now.
What are we? Okay.
You opening pitch baseball.
You opening pitch baseball.
Yeah.
Who was it that told you don't kick off in soccer? Is that what they said or something? You were telling me that story. You're like, somebody told you we don't kick off and whatever.
It's a first touch.
Whatever.
Dude, whatever. Be glad I'm here.
Exactly.
Hug drop.
Yeah.
It's all it's going to be a good show. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and get into it because we have to get to yesterday's results, today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Let's do it.
This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated.
In Monday high school basketball action on the boys' side, the TSIAA opening round, Zion Christian with a 54-22 win over Academy of God. Girls tournament action in 8-3A, Lawrence County defeated Spring Hill 61-46. That ends the Lady Raiders season. In 10-2A, Lewis County defeated Mount Pleasant 46-39, ending the Lady Tigers season. Also, season-ending losses for Hampshire and Culleoka in District 10-1A. Richland Downs, Hampshire, 52-44. Santa Fe with a 48-30 win over Culleoka. In TSIAA first-round girls action, it was Dixon Academy 52, Zion Christian 41.
Does not end Zion Christian season.
Does not. They have a second bracket that
consolation
consolation Division 2 is what they call it.
Yeah.
Consolation bracket. We will stay away from
whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
In NCAA men's action, Austin P with a 62-54 win over Eastern Illinois. In NCAA women's action, Lipscomb falls to North Alabama 76-68, and Austin P falls to UT Martin 60-57.
Tonight's boys basketball tournament action in 10-1A, Culleoka travels to Collinwood. That's a 6:30 start. Also in 10-1A, Hampshire goes to Wayne County at 6:30. In 10-2A, Mount Pleasant boys travel to Hohenwald, take on the Panthers of Lewis County. That's a 6 o'clock start. In District 8-3A, Spring Hill travels to Tullahoma. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off. And in Division 2 Class A Middle Region girls quarterfinal action, Columbia Academy is at Nashville Christian. That's a 6 o'clock start.
In NCAA men's action tonight, 4th-ranked Kentucky, and apparently projected to be potentially the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, coming to Tennessee, 16th-ranked Vols hosting tonight at Thompson Bowling Arena. You can watch it on ESPN at 8 o'clock. NBA action, you can catch the Grizzlies. They're at New Orleans. That's a 7 o'clock tip. And in NHL action, the Nashville Predators host the Washington Capitals, a 7 o'clock quick drop. And that's going to do it for today's rundown.
Kentucky, the number 1 overall?
That's what I read today. I mean, I guess they're assuming that they continue what they're doing. Yeah. I can't see that happening, but it would be hard for me to give Gonzaga the number 1 overall seed if either Auburn or Kentucky run the table and win the SEC tournament.
Here's my question.
Period.
If it's Auburn, Kentucky in the SEC tournament finals, is there a scenario where they both get a number 1?
Oh, they definitely would be. I don't think there's any question that they would both be number 1 seeds. It would be impossible to not give them the number 1 seeds at that point.
Wonder when the SEC has had 2 number 1s on the men's side, if ever.
Yeah, your guess would be as good as my knowledge, because
that's crazy. I guess we need
to
get
maybe back in the mid '90s, Arkansas, Kentucky, maybe,
or Kentucky, Mississippi State when they had that real good team with Nashville native Dante Jones.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, our top story today is not that. Our top story, the opening pitch for today is that spring training has been officially delayed because today would have been the day pitchers and catchers were to report. Obviously, they are not reporting, so we are, in fact, delayed.
Officially.
And I don't know that I see an end in sight at this point. I mean, we've got, one side's making barely any adjustments. The other side's making barely any adjustments, and the middle is way far off.
Pete Miller, the Summit wrestling coach came up to me Saturday at the region tournament and said, I just got one question for you. When are we getting baseball back? Because I got some planning to do if we're not getting it. And I just told him, I think Memorial Day weekend
that would be.
I think that's probably what we're looking at.
Would be unfortunate.
It would be unfortunate, but you'd take it.
I'd take it. Yeah.
In light of everything else that's gone on, I don't know what that does to the All-Star break or the All-Star game, but
on top of that, minor leagues are not affected by this.
No,
by the way, which means the only baseball that there may be could be minor league baseball, which would be awesome.
Now, the only thing is if you're on a 40-man roster, you can't play.
But that would be awesome for
the minor leagues
like Nashville. I mean, if you're looking for something to do,
if you're the only game in town,
no doubt.
There you go.
Huh. Whatever. We'll continue talking baseball on the other side of this break, as no delays in junior college baseball.
No.
We'll talk to Mike Korn on the other side of the break about his upcoming season and what's recruiting been like. It's going to be fun. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back to the Lee Company studio after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Top 5 Tuesday here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. Make sure to follow us at ms_sports today on Twitter. You can find our live video there and archived as well. If you miss any part of today's show, it's going to be a really good show. So if you miss any of it, you can go back and watch it on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, or you can find it on our podcast on your podcast platform of choice. Looking forward to this next segment as we talk a little local baseball. We just mentioned, spring training is officially delayed, but junior college baseball right on schedule.
It absolutely is. And off to, I believe, a 4-0 start are the Chargers of Columbia State. Veteran coach Mike Korn joining us from the dugout at Dave Hall Field. Mike, good afternoon.
That's right. Hey, good afternoon, Mo. Good afternoon, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for joining us, man. 4-0, is that right? Swept Freed-Hardeman out there last week and picked up a couple of wins down at Millington over the weekend. Did I see that right?
That's right. 4-0, off to a better than 0-4 start. It's still early, of course.
I wanted to ask you, Mike, and Columbia State opens the home portion of its season tomorrow afternoon when Freed-Hardeman comes up here at 3:00. Now, is that is that 2 7s or is that 1-9 or what are y'all doing tomorrow?
Mo, we've bumped it up to a 2:00 start, and we're going to go 2 7s.
Okay.
We're going to play 2 7s tomorrow.
2 7s starting at 2:00 tomorrow at Dave Hall Field. So, businessman special. If this weather holds up, folks, you might want to sneak on out there. But, Mike, I wanted to ask you because February in Middle Tennessee is the classic box of chocolates when it comes to weather. Do you overschedule knowing that you're not going to get them all in, or how do you approach February?
Absolutely, Mo. We'll have an internal and external schedule, and some games that you'll originally list as a single, knowing that if you lose a game or two here and there, you'll play a double. But we're able to play 56, and you want to try to get as close to that as possible because that's why these guys are here to play these games. And like you said, you just never know. We were down in Millington, and it was 31 degrees and the wind blowing, and we'll be here in Columbia tomorrow, and it's 67 and the wind blowing again, but it'll be nice.
Well, and ideally that wind is kind of changing up from half inning to half inning, blowing in when you're on defense and blowing out when you're on offense. I know you're not going to get that, but which is the preference for your team right now?
Well, I tell you what, I know there's some games that you feel like it's blowing out for them and in for you, but we do have a deep pitching staff. We're not a home run hitting team per se. We're athletic and fast. So probably the wind blowing in would help us at the moment. But tomorrow it'll be 15 to 25, dead out of the south, blowing out dead center field.
Nice. Well, maybe you can become a home run hitting team tomorrow then. Mike, with the restrictions that you all were faced with last year in terms of fans, weren't able to get folks into Dave Hall Field to see you guys on a regular basis. Got to be pretty excited to be back at home again tomorrow with 67-degree weather. I know you'd like to get as good a crowd as you can get for a midday game tomorrow.
Yeah, no question about it. It was such a strange year of seeing those stadium seats and those bleachers empty, and I thought the young men handled as well as they could, and I think for as much for them, getting their parents out here and their loved ones out able to interact with us and watch good baseball. I mean, I think it'll be a big lift to these young men going in, some of them into their last year here.
Coach, this is one of those games. Freed-Hardeman comes in. Do you play their JV or do you actually play their varsity?
It will officially. It is their varsity, and I was at Tusculum College for about 9 or 10 years, and I'm sure that Jonathan, Coach Estes, plays it similar to as we did there when I was at Tusculum. You play who needs to play, and
sure. I'm
sure some of their older guys will stay at home. But if you have an arm or a pitcher that didn't throw on the weekend, you use them. And guys, we welcome whoever they want to play. Any one particular player can't play over 56 games in the season in the combination of both. But it'll be mostly some of the younger guys, I guess. And I don't know how much of a definitive line Freed separates JV and varsity, but it was a muddled line when I was at Tusculum. But I tell you, Chris, they had a really good team that they put on the field, a good product, and we went there and played them, and it was all we could do to come out of the gates and scratch those 2 victories. So when we look for a competitive contest tomorrow.
You know, Mike, when you get the opportunity to play those 4-year schools in particular, is that kind of a mini showcase for your guys to a degree?
Sure, absolutely. You know, they those 4-year. We don't do many. There's some other schools in our league that play just a ton of the junior varsity or 4-year teams in the spring. We do a limited amount. We like to really play a tough junior college schedule, but for Freed and their coaching staff to see our team and up close and personal and see how they play and see how they act, they can hear what they say on the field. It's for sure an advantage to them because we have some talented young men who have a history of going on and doing really well at the next level. So it is our guys get excited to play in front of other coaches, and then like I said, the big advantage is probably for the 4-year itself.
Speaking with Mike Korn, longtime Columbia State baseball coach, as they get ready for their home opener tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 against Freed Hardeman, doubleheader over there. Mike, you talk about wanting to play a tough junior college baseball schedule. This weekend will live up to that as you go down to Chipola for their invitational. Who all do you all have?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We have actually bitten off more than we expected going down there. Typically, when we go to Marianna, Florida, and play Jeff and his bunch, we'll play Chipola 2 of the 4 games. Just through, I don't know if it was COVID related, budget related, or whatever. The other couple teams that were scheduled to be there have canceled. So it's going to be Chargers, Indians for 4 straight. So we're excited about it. They're ranked up there in the top 10, and you know that's we'll go in there and buckle up and see what we can do.
Well, given the history of this program, I'm sure you're buckling up and seeing what you can do will be just fine. And even if it's one of those deals where you either win or you learn, right, Mike?
Well, I think you as a player, every time you step between those lines, there's a level of pride and you want to compete and you want to win. It's up to us coaches to manage that or govern, how many pitches these guys throw early and keeping these guys healthy, because we know the big games come in May, and going down there and winning is a priority. But for us coaches, we need to manage that desire to win. And even if you lose a couple games and you get some pitchers in tough situations, you're able to have some teaching moments on defense, and your hitters continue to see live pitching. There'll be value from it, regardless which side of the scoreboard you end up on.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, the last time we spoke with you was right as the pandemic was getting started, and we talked about, you told us, you straight up said this is going to affect everybody for the next 4 to 6 years recruiting wise. I'm just curious. Has that been the case? Because it certainly seems that way in other sports. What about in baseball?
No question, Chris. We see rosters that are just really full. And if I remember our conversation, I made a comment of those players coming out of high school that typically were just good enough to play, just good enough, not your all-star. Your all-stars, those guys are still finding a home, but those young men who have a desire to play and want to play, and young men and women who are just good enough to make a college roster in the past, those are the ones that may get left out. We have some really good players on this team. They're going to struggle to get in the lineup on a day in and day out basis because of the backlog of older players who are talented, and we have another year or two of this in baseball, and we'll just have to play through it, and it makes it tough to a little tougher on the recruiting part, not knowing that the player may come back for his third year or may not, and it's just a little different mindset on the recruiting side, especially.
I'm sitting here looking at your roster, Mike, and I've never seen this before, but you've got year and you've got 3, 2, or 1 next to some of these guys, next to all these guys, and a pretty good number of 3s on your roster.
Correct. And that was, we just decided typically you just put freshman or sophomore and maybe an RSO for redshirt sophomore. And just with the COVID exceptions that some of these young men have, we just decided to do a 1, 2, or 3. And that way, when a 4-year school is looking at our roster, they go, okay, I know Wade Richardson has been there for 3 years. And then they make that call to me, and I will say, well, he has used a year of eligibility, or he has not used a year of eligibility. So before it was real simple to look at a roster and see who was available. And now if a 4-year school calls us, they'll need to ask a few questions, and we'll go over their transcripts and how many years they've been here and if they've used a year of eligibility. Now, some of those year number 3 guys have not used a year of eligibility.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. It's amazing when you think about it. Go ahead.
Mo, and what I was going to say was those players are getting ready to go into the 4-year fold, and many of them will have, depending on where they go, they'll at least have 3 years, if not 4 years of eligibility, and that's going to continue with the logjam moving forward.
Wow. Coach Mike Korn of the Columbia State Baseball Chargers. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us. We appreciate it.
Always, and we love listening to you guys and hearing what you do and supporting the amateur sports here in this area.
Coach, we appreciate you. Good luck this weekend down in Florida, and stay warm. It shouldn't be much of a problem down
Absolutely.
there, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Not at all. Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Chris.
Sir, when we come back, Kentucky, Tennessee tonight. It's the only SEC game on the slate, so because they normally play on Wednesdays, but ESPN, got to do what TV tells you.
No
and
doubt.
when you got a top 16 matchup,
yeah.
Let's talk about it. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We are live from the Lee Company studio. Glad to have you with us here. Top 5 coming up. Super Bowl commercials. Surprisingly, we probably could have done top 5 all-time halftime performances. Where does that one rank? But we kind of gave it away yesterday. We feeling 1 and 2 pretty good. Of course,
that other 3.
The 1, 2, and 3 are almost 1A, B, C.
Yeah,
almost. I mean, nonetheless, it will be commercials. I kept up with it best I could on my phone. I kept a list and I put a little emoji next to it to tell me whether I thought it was funny or if I thought it was just, there were some dramatic ones that were really nice. And I just leave the movie trailers out. Those aren't commercials to me, but there were some really good ones, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys thought of them. So we will get to it here momentarily. Right now, though, we got to talk about tonight's big SEC hoops matchup, where Tennessee hosts Kentucky, and I mean, the fact is, they've got some revenge on their mind after the absolute thrashing they took up in Lexington.
Oh, without question, they do. I mean, they want everyone to know that was an out-of-character performance for them, but at the same time, and the way Kentucky's playing right now, and Tennessee still has their moments of offensive inefficiency. Is that a fair word?
Yeah.
Enough that, I mean, I think Kentucky has to play not well and Tennessee has to play really well for that revenge to be a reality.
Okay. Vegas knows something you don't. What do you think the line is for tonight?
It's at TBA.
That's correct.
Tennessee has won, 7 straight now?
Close.
I think
they're 7 of 8. 7 of 8?
No, I think the Vandy win was their 7th straight. I'm saying Kentucky is a 5.5 point favorite at Thompson Bowling.
What do you think it is?
Based on how you're presenting this,
I'm
going to go.
Ready to tell me that Tennessee is favored.
I'm going to go Kentucky by 1.5.
Tennessee -2.
Wow.
I don't understand.
Well, wait a minute. How is this Tennessee -2 and Kentucky is projected as the national number 1?
Look, man, I don't know. I don't make the odds. That's what I'm telling you.
Tennessee -2. I'd jump all over Kentucky on that.
The over-under is 140, which is 70-70. If Tennessee's going to win, the under's going to hit.
But I don't know if you can hold Kentucky like that.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I don't think Tennessee can win.
Right.
Tennessee can't score with Kentucky. They have to stop them.
Have to.
And so, if in the betting world, if you think Tennessee's going to win, hammer the under.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, you could maybe go the other way. But 80-60 is still crazy. I don't see that coming either. I think the under's
no, I don't see that
safe.
coming.
That's from Caesars.
We are all Caesars.
So I
are those solid gold? Is there another gold that I don't know about?
Fool's gold, I guess. Let's go from CBSSports.com. This is from the staff. Why Tennessee can cover. After beginning the season 9-2, blah, blah, blah. They're one of 3 SEC teams that's undefeated at home this season, winning all 13 at Thompson Bowling. They've also had success against Kentucky on their own court of late, and they've captured 4 of the last 6 meetings in Knoxville. Jordan Josiah James on a hot streak, averaging 16.5 over his last 4, raising his season mark to 8.9. Sportsline's model is leaning over on the total at 143. This is mind-blowing to me. And that's why it's going to be over. Because I'm sitting here going, there's no way. There's no way. And yet it'll definitely hit. Kentucky is...
They're hitting on all cylinders right now. They really are. I mean, when they went out to Kansas and beat them at Allen Fieldhouse like that,
drubbed them.
Yeah. I mean, hey, those guys in Vegas, they tend to know something.
They usually do. The matchup that I'm most interested in tonight is Ty Washington and Zakai Ziegler / Kennedy Chandler, whomever it may be. Kennedy Chandler defensively has been phenomenal. But I think Zakai has a little bit better offensive opportunity against Ty. This guy, Ty Washington, scored 28 against Tennessee last time. They're not going to hit 68% from the floor, which is what they did in Kentucky. So, I mean, they scored 107 points?
Yeah.
That's not
beat them by 30.
That's not going to happen. Right?
They're not going to score 107 points. They may score 80.
Sure. But that's on the road. Tennessee's playing well. They've kind of,
Tennessee, and again, Tennessee plays particularly well at home.
13-0.
Yeah, doesn't get much better than that.
So if you're watching this game tonight, don't be surprised to see Tennessee right there. But
right to the end, apparently. What time's that tip?
Yesterday, maybe it was 8:00 tip tonight.
8:00
on ESPN
Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody said something. We were on the phone with a guest, and they said, "Yeah, it's going to be a good game right up to the end, or to the finish or something." And I'm like, "That's a good place to stop. The finish." It's one of my favorite Mitch Hedbergers. It's going to be a fight to the finish. That seems like a good place to stop. I mean, would you stop before then? No, you wouldn't. So, this Kentucky team is really good, and a team that NCAA bracketology or ESPN bracketology has them as a number 1 seed.
Where do they have Tennessee?
That's what I couldn't find it, and I'm not.
Well, if you remember last week when we were talking about Bubble Watch, Auburn and Kentucky were the only 2 SEC teams that they considered locks. So Tennessee's a 4?
Tennessee is a 4 at this point. I think Tennessee is probably at this point a lock. They've got Alabama a 5, LSU a 6. They also have Arkansas at a 6. Auburn and Kentucky both number 1 seeds.
And Kentucky is the number 1 overall.
Kentucky being the number 1 overall, yes. So
you should keep that closer.
Yeah. Other SECs.
enough for an at-large.
They have Murray as a 10, which doesn't surprise me, but it does.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but I tell you what, if Murray's a 10, I'd hate to be that 7.
Marquette and Shaka Smart. No, thank you. Texas in the tournament as a 5 seed. They've got North Texas as the CUSA auto qualifier, which that's who's winning the league right now. But it could be one of 3 or 4 different teams.
I think Coosa's as wide open this year as it's been in a long time. And sleep on the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, sleep on them at your own peril. I mean, it's too bad the tournament isn't at the Glass House because they'd win it.
No question.
Oh,
8:00 tonight, huh?
8:00. Okay. I'll be watching.
Oh, no question.
Speaking of the Blue Raiders, let's talk to the voice
thereof.
Yeah, in the second half. We're going to take a break. Halftime coming up, so stick around. Main Street Sports Today after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
So you guys haven't gotten your new license plate yet, have you?
Mine don't expire until April.
Mine's May, so I don't even know if we're going to get new ones. They've stopped production of the new license plate because of the license plate reader cameras not being able to
read them at night. Yeah, I think now is the time to get them.
If you can get one, do it.
And particularly if you have, well, anyway.
Well, I mean, license plate readers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, I love the new design. I think it's cool, but I love this part of the design way better. You know, if they were at prisons stamping them like they used to, they definitely did that on purpose. Well, they're all spraying them with that reflective gear.
Is that what it is? Is it the reflection off the dark background?
I think it is. Yeah. I think it's the dark background that got them. Which I don't
So
know.
that's a design thing.
Well, the Titans ones don't do that though.
Do they not? I mean, are you sure?
You're right. I don't know. I wonder if the Titans. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. That we ended up with that issue.
I just think it's funny, the lack of forethought. Well, let me stop there because that's not where this show needs to go.
We've got Chip Walters and Joe Rexrode in the second half, as well as Top 5 Tuesday. So
It's going to be fun.
it's going to be a great second half. Stick around. We'll be back. Main Street Sports Day returns after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports today. Coming up, we'll talk with Blue Raider Network's Chip Walters, also Joe Rexrode from the Athletic, and Top 5 Tuesday Super Bowl commercials. So stay tuned. That's all straight ahead. Now back to the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome back. It is the second half. Top 5 Tuesday coming at you here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo sporting the MTSU True Blue hoodie today. I'm in mourning with my baseball.
Well, see, we're twofold here. One, I don't think you have an MTSU hoodie, and I have to try to. We don't like to do twinsies. So,
And when we can help it.
Yeah, when we can help it. Sometimes we can't. We just seem to be on the same wavelength. Again, Blue Raiders enjoying a little success these days, so it's a little easier to wear this kind of thing.
Well, I'll be wearing my JSU hoodie tomorrow because I think I'm going to go up to Harding.
Harding?
To Lipscomb. What road is it they're on?
Oh, what are they on? Granny White.
That's
It's
right.
back in there, yeah. Did they play? When do they play?
Play tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 7:00. So may take my little happy butt up there and go watch a little JSU Lipscomb.
Well, I'm sure that you won't be the only
Probably
area
not.
folks up there.
Probably not. So anyway, let's dive in here.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we want to. Where do we want to start? You want to start on the hardwood or you want to start on the gridiron?
Let's start on the gridiron because we can get to the hardwood eventually. But there was an announcement yesterday regarding the offensive staff at MTSU. And we're going to let the voice of the Blue Raiders kind of
Tell us all about it.
fill us in. Yeah. Chip, talk to us.
Hello, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well. How about you? Enjoying this weather,
Good.
man.
Now, before I do that, I have a question. Chris, do you like things to go smoothly on the show?
No. Captain Chaos is my literal nickname, Chip.
Well, I mean, that answers my question because the next part of the question was, if you said yes, then why do you want everything else in chaos?
No.
You thrive on that.
I want all the chaos.
All the time.
We have a run of show that tells us what we're going to talk about, and you know what? I may just switch it up in the middle of it. We never know.
I got you. All right. Well, that clears things up then. So,
yeah, Chip, this show is definitely a get in, sit down, shut up, and hang on type of
yeah,
proposition.
Strap it in, boys.
Yeah, because
exactly. Well, probably a guy that one or both of you may be a little familiar with, but Coach Stock, after Brent Dearman left to go to FAU, obviously the search was on for a new offensive coordinator. It looks like they've made a very solid hire here, and that is Mitch Stewart, who for the last 2 years has been the OC at Samford. in Birmingham. Prior to that, he spent 5 years as the head coach at Murray State. So I mean, this is a guy who's got a lot of experience. When he was at Samford, they led the Southern Conference in scoring offense, total offense, passing offense, and pass efficiency. So in 2021, last year, they ranked 6th nationally in the FCS. They scored 37.9 points per game, threw for over 300 yards, and in total offense averaged right at 450 yards per game. So obviously, you know, he and Stock, whoever the offensive coordinator is going to run an offense that gets the stamp of approval from the head coach. So kind of exciting. Actually happened to run into him at lunch today. The whole football staff was having lunch at the Slick Pig today. So I thought that we all made a good choice in that. But he's jumping in. They'll be starting spring practice immediately after spring break. So he's got about 3 to 4 weeks to kind of get things organized between himself and the offensive staff.
Well, first of all, you all did make an excellent call on lunch.
No question there.
First and foremost. Secondly, it seems that Stock made an excellent call on his OC, because this guy has been joined at the hip with Chris Hatcher, the Hatch Attack.
Correct.
Both this time at Samford. Before he went to Murray, he was with Hatcher at Georgia Southern. Went to Valdosta State. I don't know, didn't say whether he played or not there, but Chris Hatcher was down there as well, I think. So as Chip said, Hatcher and Samford have had a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball, and Hatcher is pretty well known throughout the FCS level as one of the top offensive minds probably in the country. He's a Hal Mummy guy. So it's going to be interesting to watch, I think.
Yeah. And which, you know, obviously this will be the second offensive coordinator in the last 3 that's had Hal Mummy connections. Because obviously Tony Franklin had him as well when he and Mike Leach were with Coach Mummy at Kentucky. But this will be a different version of things, and you know, it's a lot of interesting pieces coming back, and you know, with the transfer portal, you're having new names come through the door, and saw where Mike DeLello has decided to go out the door, and then you've got new quarterbacks already signed. The kid from Fayette Ware, who they're really excited about. You've got Nick Vattiato back. You've got some really good receivers coming back. You've got 2 transfer running backs, which that sounds familiar, one from West Virginia and one from Kansas State. So it will be interesting to see how Coach Stewart puts those pieces together to get this offense ready for what will be a very challenging 2022 schedule that will open at James Madison, then go west to Colorado State, home for Tennessee State, and then south to Miami to take on the U in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Now, Chip, remind me or correct me, that James Madison game wasn't always on the books. Is that right?
Correct. It was supposed to be Missouri at home.
Okay.
And Missouri got a new athletic director. Coach Drink apparently decided he did not want to come to Murfreesboro after Middle had beaten Missouri in Como the last time they were there. So they exercised their right to pay $800,000 to get out of the game. And at the same time, James Madison said, hey, we need a home opponent that we'll pay $700,000 to. And so it ended up that it's a late date that Missouri backed out. There were not a lot of options for Chris Massaro at the time, and that one presented itself. So that turned out okay because James Madison is obviously moving up they're moving into 1A status in football as well. So that
turned
is
out okay, he said. They
Turned
just
out
made
okay.
1.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah, it also leads us into the little the dust up that's going on between Conference USA and Southern Miss, Marshall, and Old Dominion. So they are all trying to get out a year early, and they want to play football in the Sun Belt this fall. They are by contract supposed to stay another year, like the schools that are going to the American are going to do. But Conference USA issued a statement literally within the last hour that says, quote, Conference USA intends to conduct the 22-23 athletic year with the full 14 institution membership intact. The Conference USA Board of Directors will exhaust all necessary legal actions to ensure all members meet their contractual obligations as defined by and agreed to by the Conference USA bylaws. So,
wow, there will be lawyers, huh?
There will be blood, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
There will be lawyers. There could be checks being written. It's going to be, and I've heard that there's a possibility that both leagues could issue conference schedules that had all three of those teams on both of them, and then, so who knows what's going to happen right now?
Chip Walters, voice of the Blue Raiders. We didn't get to touch on basketball, but it was a good week for both the Blue Raiders and the Lady Raiders.
That's right. Just one little stat here. 2 schools in the country are undefeated at home in basketball, men and women, Middle Tennessee and Arizona. I'll leave you with that.
Chip dropping knowledge on us. Chip Walters, voice of the Blue Raiders, with us here on Main Street Sports today. When we come back, we've got Joe Rexrode of The Athletic joining us. Chip, thank you. We'll catch you next week. Stay with us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Top 5 Tuesday here on Main Street Sports today. Top 5 Super Bowl commercials coming in the next segment. Should be a lot of fun. But before that, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl here and what it means for some folks in the Super Bowl world and the world of the National Football League and the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Should be fun. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton. JP Plant on the controls. Conference USA Sun Belt in the middle of a
staring
contest.
Yep.
Sure, staring.
Oh, staring.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's exactly where I was going with that, Mo.
It's a little cleaner.
Definitely staring.
A little cleaner. Less messy.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But we will continue to keep you updated on that throughout this off season, because we're going to work on getting some folks on the show that can give us a little more insight than we have.
Here's what's funny. The Auburn mess died down just in time for this to kick up.
Hey, all press is good press, right? Sun Belt and Conference USA are getting talked about. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, let's dive in here as we talk to Joe Rexrode of The Athletic. But before we get into what we want to talk about, I want to get his thoughts on the fact that Tennessee is a 2-point favorite and the over under tonight at 140. Any chance that either of those hit, Joe?
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Tennessee favored. That is for sure. That's an interesting over-under, too. I feel like it is going to be an up-tempo game. And I do think the Vols have a chance. But I'm a little surprised. I'll tell you that.
You think UT
I'm
can?
very intrigued by this game.
You think UT can score with them like that?
The thing is, you get Josiah James hitting shots. And I mean, look at them the last few games. Just one more shot maker. Not to mention, Zakai Ziegler has been obviously he's been a tremendous story and a great change of pace guy and defender, energized with bench, but he's hitting shots too. I mean, what have they got here in the last? So they're looking at 73, 72, 81, 90 in their last 4. And I know, not the greatest competition in all those games, but I mean, I think they have enough shooting at home, and at home that's where you get the role player too, right? You get like Justin Powell coming off the bench and hit 3 threes.
You know what? I think that's what I've been
possible.
Sitting here thinking, that Powell is kind of an X factor tonight, one way or the other.
Yeah, and I think a guy like Plavsic is, just in terms of like somebody to occupy Oscar Shibwe and bother him at all. I mean, that's a matchup. That's the thing in the first meeting, that didn't even really come into play because Kentucky didn't miss a shot anyway. Like he didn't have a chance to get 8 offensive rebounds like he might get tonight because they just made everything. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I think I like how Tennessee's playing. You take out like one 4 or 5 minute stretch of drought every game that they have. If you take that out tonight, I think they have a chance.
There you go. All right.
Now,
we move on.
To ask you what we originally wanted to ask you, and clearly Joe Rexrode of The Athletic is a wealth of knowledge. He's certainly no one-trick pony, and so anytime we can get him on, we're happy to have him. But yesterday, Joe, we briefly discussed former Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and how much of a boost to his career Sunday's performance was. And so
take your homer cap off first.
It was interesting to get off the it was interesting to get off the air and see your comments on Twitter. You feel like this solidified Matthew Stafford as a Hall of Famer?
No, I don't think it solidified him, but I think it puts him in position.
So I mean, that's kind of been, and we've talked about it quite a bit. I would say I'm not all the way on the extreme of like he's in now, he's a lock. Like I think if he decided to retire today, one, I definitely don't think he'd be a first ballot, and ultimately, I'd probably guess no. But he wasn't even like, it wasn't even worth ever discussing before last year. There's a few parts of this. One is obviously you got to check a lot of boxes, but it's also perception of a player. And that's where I've argued with people for a long time. And, Chris, as far as the homer thing, I just want it known. I disavowed the Detroit Lions long ago. However, I've been forced to watch still a lot of Lions football, including my 14-year-old still somehow roots for them, which I had tried to change for years. But I've watched a lot of Matthew Stafford, and I've always thought, like I think this has happened to a lot of players over the years. When you play for just a terrible franchise, it's just, you can get buried. And I've always thought that Stafford with a reputable franchise and team could be great. And so I think people now look at his Lions career probably a little differently, right? Like, man, he was just basically stuck in Detroit with that team and that franchise. But look at how good he is. I mean, his talent has always been, to me, spectacular. His arm talent. I mean, so he's come through. He makes all these plays. He wins all these games. That's a memorable Super Bowl drive. And to me, the key is from here. Does he have 3, 4, 5 good years left? Does he end up in the top 5 in passing yards and touchdowns, which he's definitely in position to do? Does he have any more postseason success? I think if he wins another ring, I think he'd be over. But can he at least win a couple more playoff games and have more good seasons and stack more, really good quarterback of a good team? Plus, is it possible Brady retiring, some of these other guys on the way out, older guys, can he be an actual top 5 quarterback in the league for a few years? I would agree with people who say he hasn't been, but he's still at the top of his game right now. So I just think he's now, it's worth talking about, and he could aspire to get there. And you know how it is, guys. I mean, winning a ring or not winning a ring, it probably means too much, but it does mean a lot to the voters. I think that's pretty clear.
I'll tell you, we on this show have never doubted the talents of Matthew Stafford. We have both said on a number of occasions that he got a raw deal from people on the outside by his performances in Detroit when they just didn't realize it's in Detroit.
It just felt like, put this guy on a good team and see what happens. Even a good
decent team.
Not a great team, just a good team,
He can elevate good to great. I mean,
and he can elevate great to Super Bowl champion. I mean,
clearly
my thing was, he wasn't just a game manager. I mean, he went out and made plays. You put Matthew Stafford on the Titans,
and they're probably
in the same spot.
Yeah.
So
yep.
I just think that, and that was, to me, one of the best things about the Rams winning the Super Bowl was that guy. I don't know if redeeming himself is the right phrase, but just having the chance to play for something after so long of knowing, 16 games is all I got. So,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, like the Super Bowl, I mean, because I think that game may have been different, and the Rams may have gotten a little bit of separation had Odell Beckham not gotten hurt early. I mean, the way he was playing, he was having a great game, and those two guys are so hard to deal with. Higbee was a big loss too. So basically, you look at the end, and you got no Beckham, no Higbee, and everybody knows he's got to throw to Cooper Kupp. And so that made that drive even more impressive to me. And obviously, and I'm sure you guys have seen the end zone angle of the no-look pass to Cooper Kupp and stuff like that. I mean, that was pretty ridiculous. I mean, and like some of the Mahomes stuff, the sidearm, different arm angles, all that stuff. I mean, Stafford has been doing that for a while.
He really has. We've seen all the arm angles, but the no-look, that was kind of new to his repertoire. He was showing off a little bit there. I love it. Joe Rexrode.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think Oh, sorry. I was going to say, like, I would go redefine. I would go redefine with what he's done. I mean, and again, I just think that everything kind of looks different now, especially to people, and there were a lot, and people who I just think either just kind of forgot about him or just kind of dismissed him because look, the win-loss record isn't good, right? And people attribute that, to quarterbacks, obviously. So that's where I think this did for him.
Joe Rexrode of The Athletic with us here on Main Street Sports today. Joe, you mentioned the Rams being without OBJ, obviously being without Tyler Higbee. The latter absence kind of allowed for the third local product to really make an impact in that ball game, and the one that going into the week we were probably least sure would be able to make an impact on this ball game. Bryson Hopkins, the second-year tight end out of Purdue, who played his high school ball at Innsworth. What do you have? 4 catches? 3 catches? And most of them were pretty timely.
Oh, he was terrific. Yeah. And you can see, I mean, that was clutch. And I thought, in terms of being able to fill in and fill that role, I mean, they were much better off there than, and obviously it's a little bit different in game, but with the rookie Scourin, of course that pick, although the pick wasn't an accurate throw, but it's like, man, do anything but like hop it straight up in the air for the DB. But yeah, Hopkins ended up being a really nice, and of course then you got another local product, with the combo, Super Bowl ring and new addition to the family.
That was indescribable the way that happened for Van Jefferson, getting out of there in time to get to his wife's bedside for the birth of their second child. I mean, I can't imagine any better scenario for a professional athlete than winning a championship and being there for your child's birth in the same day.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, and it's in Hollywood. Like, I mean, how many screenwriters were already starting on that, like, Monday morning?
Every one of them.
All of them.
Yeah. If you've ever written a sports movie, that one's on the list. Especially, I mean, considering his background and his dad and that sort of thing, it's just, that kind of stuff writes itself, doesn't it? Oh man, Joe.
Absolutely.
We always have a good time when we can get you on, and we appreciate everything that you do, and looking forward to continuing to talk to you over the next few months of hopefully we can get you on to talk some Preds and that sort of thing, because, well, you probably know more than we do. But I just wanted to get your quick comments, your thoughts on what is going on in the world of Major League Baseball. Do you think we're going to have a season?
I must say, like, there's an area where, because you do have to, like, you have to focus on stuff, and sometimes you block things out. I have been blocking that out largely because what I've read about it, it makes me kind of sick. I think we're probably going to have an abridged season. That's my without paying attention to every single thing. That would be my guess. What do you guys think?
We're with you.
Yeah, I think likewise. I've kind of thinking at this point, if they can get back by Memorial Day, they can make a big thing of that weekend. And I think that would be, at this point, it might be about as good as you can hope for.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad. I would sign up for that right now. Honestly.
Yeah. If they told us tomorrow that we could start on Memorial Day, I'd take it.
Yes, please.
Yes, no question.
That'll work.
Yep.
But Joe, thank you. We appreciate it. If you need anything from us, just holler.
We're here.
We have. Wait a minute. We have your back in the Matthew Stafford debate. Is all I'm saying.
Before we let you go, though, Joe, I reached out to you yesterday evening, last night, to see if you could come on with us, and you said you were celebrating Valentine's Day at your son's basketball game. How did that come out?
Yeah, gotta win. So that was good. Didn't get too much trash talk going on the court, so that was good. And So yeah, it was good. We got a big win, and then family takeout subs as a nice Valentine's dinner. So there you go.
There you go. Now, was this a tournament game? This youth league basketball?
It was. But the funny thing is, it was actually our last. We won, but it will be our last game because tonight is freshman orientation for most of the team, and we don't have enough kids to play, so we would have played tonight. So it ends up being. So I guess in a way, it's like you won the championship. Your last game is a win, right?
So let me ask you this: what is there a chance that the other team's forfeited?
That's actually a good. See, we're playing different. It's like a variety of different communities.
Well, people on our show actually.
I'm not even sure. That's a good question, though. That's a good question.
The people on our show know what I'm talking about here because I was the official of the 14U Grassland Franklin game where we had an altercation and both teams were then removed from the tournament. So I don't know if your kid's in the open league or not, but if he is, then the other two teams forfeited. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, you know what? As soon as I'm getting off this call, I'm going to text the coach. So
you might want to find out because I think the other semifinal was supposed to be the championship. So
y'all might have won the championship
you might have
last night.
actually won the championship and not known it. So there you go.
Let us know.
All right.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, Joe Rexrode of the Athletic here on Main Street Sports today. Joe, we appreciate it. We appreciate you, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right, guys. As always, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That was Joe Rexrode. We are looking at the UAB.
The UAB football schedule on their Twitter.
Their schedule. They put that out with the Shrugs next to Marshall on October the 8th and Southern Miss on November 25th. Top 5 Tuesday when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stay with us.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Oh, welcome back. Top 5 Tuesday as we get you ready for Kentucky, Tennessee, 8 o'clock tip tonight. If you want to watch the Preds, you can do that too. They got the Caps. I think our friend Craig may be at that game tonight. He's taking Matt Hart's tickets to the game, so lucky him.
Is he taking?
Is he? Yes. There's no question there. Top 5 Super Bowl commercials
From Super Bowl 56.
From Super Bowl 56. Top 5 Tuesday brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness, Dallas, Still in the Gang, StillAthletes.com, STEEL Athletes.com. You're going to take that back. What you just said. That's something. You don't know. You don't know? Dallas Still does a fantastic job. 2 great locations, one in Franklin, one here in Columbia. So go see Dallas Still, stillathletes.com, Mid-South 5 Fitness. All right, fellas, let's count her down.
Any honorable mentions?
Let's wait till after.
Okay, got you.
Just in case.
Good call.
So yeah, I will be happy to start. My number 5 was actually an NFL commercial. The video game where they come out of the screen and they play football in the house. I loved that. I thought it was super cool. And
the grandmother at the end.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Football. It was really good commercial. So well done, NFL.
That was a good one. Yeah, it's definitely a top 5. I'll go 5 on that one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you had some of today's players. You also had some greats.
Peyton was in there.
Mm-hmm. Peyton, you had Dion.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Strahan.
It was a good
Ray Lewis made an appearance. It was good stuff.
Well, clearly it is the consensus number 5.
There you go.
Because it was my number 5 as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Number 4?
My number 4, I'm actually going to it's a little downer, but that first Toyota commercial with the McKeever brothers where they're skiing and, the guy the McKeever brother lost his sight and they won gold, like 5 golds in the Paralympics or something. But it was just a really good commercial. And then at the end, I was like, oh, Toyota. Okay. Like I had no idea what was going on until the end. So Toyota did a really good job not trying to interrupt the story with product placement, which I thought was really important. But it kind of tugged at the heartstrings. So McKeever Brothers Toyota commercial.
All right. Number 4 for me, I'll do the Chevrolet Sopranos
commercial. A lot of folks love that. See, I didn't get it because I'm not a Soprano. I didn't watch Sopranos, so I never got it.
It's a good looking truck too.
It looks like a Honda Ridgeline.
A little bit, but
not a fan.
Well, I like it. But it was a good commercial.
My number 4 was the Carvana commercial with the mom that was telling everybody about what a great deal she got on her car at Carvana. Just chatty Cathy. Yeah,
no question.
Yeah.
My number 3 was the Larry David FTX Don't Miss, where he goes through history and he's like, oh, that's a miss. When he's like, I call it the will. He's like, that's a miss. And then it's just like every good thing that's ever happened in history, Larry David's like, that's a miss. And then FTX doesn't miss.
Number 3 for me, BMW, the Zeus and Hera. With
Zeus was good.
Arnold. It was fantastic. He's on vacation and give me the juice.
My number 3, and I have a weakness for sloths.
That was good.
The Cheetos commercial with the guy dropping the Flamin' Hot Cheetos out of the tree, and the animals.
This is why we save our honorable mentions because it's on the list, but it's an honorable mention.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like, first of all, if I drop him, I just dropped him.
Yeah, I'm not going down for him.
Not with all those animals.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Number 2.
My number 2 was the Mykolo bowling commercial, and the only reason it's not number 1 is because they didn't have the dude in it. How do you have a commercial like that and you don't have the dude in it? Come on. So, yeah, it was a great commercial. I thought, Peyton with the orange bowling ball, of course. Somebody called it the Orange Thompson bowling ball.
Okay.
I was
Stretch,
like, that's
but
a
okay.
good one.
All right. All right. Number 2 for me is the Amazon mind reader with the SNL Colin Jost and his they're married now, I think, aren't they?
Apparently.
Yeah. But have you seen the full one? I don't know if the full one ever made it through. There were little snippets, but the full one where Alexa is the mind reader.
Have you ever played that? The character game with Alexa? It's awesome. You should do that. Where she literally reads your mind. Anyway, number 2.
Number 2 is the Alexa mind reader.
Y'all must have been reading each other's minds.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, number 1, and there will be no debate in my mind. Dolly Parton, T-Mobile. When she pulled the phone out from here, I was done. She pulled the phone from her chest, and I was like, okay, that's the best commercial ever. Done. Well done, Dolly. Well
Cheered
done.
for the phone, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Unfortunately, I was out of the room restocking on wings and buffalo chicken dip at that point.
It was so funny. It was like the second commercial, too. So, it was right after the McKeever brothers, boom, T-Mobile. And I was like, wow, these are great.
That was good. My number 1 was the Larry David FTX. With the history, I thought it was fantastic. So,
my number 1 was the other Toyota commercial with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep, that was good. Leslie. Keep it up with the Jones.
Yep. And Nick Jonas.
Now it's Keep It Up with the Jonases.
Yeah.
On my honorable mentions list that we did not have, I thought the Expedia commercial where they're like, the guy was like, you'll never regret the trips you take. Nobody says they regret not doing this, but you always regret the places you didn't go.
Yep.
Thought that was really good. And the Flavortown Bud Light seltzers, because obviously, there's not a lot of flavor in those seltzers, but now they're trying to pump up the flavor. So obviously having Guy Fieri and Flavortown, that was pretty good.
For me, there were some that I didn't get to see. I was in and out cooking from time to time. So one that I know is getting a lot of pub is the GM Dr. Evil.
Yes, that was the dumbest commercial. The second dumbest. Sorry. We can all
right? So much for. I thought it was genius.
I mean,
it's memorable.
Yeah, I mean, we'll all remember it.
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean, I think it got the job done. Did you?
I just thought it was a dumb commercial.
Did you take a photo of the QR?
Oh. I was like, what?
I thought it was like, memorable though.
Great time for me to go get something to eat.
Yeah, I thought it was memorable.
I like the Austin. I mean, anything with Austin Powers.
Yeah, I'm all king of all those powers. The Hellman's Mayo tackle food waste is one getting a lot, and the Uber Eats. Uber Eats, I did like the Uber Eats.
The Uber Eats was good.
And the Donuts.
You realize that the guy in the Hellman's commercial is former UT linebacker and current Patriots assistant coach Gerard Mayo.
Is it?
It's his last name.
That's perfect.
Well, the reason
that's one I didn't see. So.
But the reason I didn't talk about that was because I thought it was kind of a Terry Taylor office
linebacker.
Like a
knockoff?
Yeah. That's why I was like, it kind of feels like you're
had it on my list. But I think Hellman's Mayo,
Gerard Mayo, that was what
I didn't realize until I was researching for this that that's who that was. But then it's like,
I just assumed when I saw Mayo on the back of his jersey that's who it was.
I didn't notice that. Irish Spring commercial was kind of goofy funny.
Any other honorable mentions?
There were a lot of good ones. I think overall it was
a really good Super Bowl from
season.
Top to bottom. Everything about it I thought was really good. Well, that's going to do it for today. Let's come back tomorrow and talk about some more. Plenty of stuff to get to. We'll probably finish up that UT Kentucky stuff, and we'll have plenty of great guests to talk to, and
Working on them as we speak.
Always a good day. So, hump day. Don't forget it. Come back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel for Mo and JP. I'm Chris Jousing. Have a great day, and we'll see you then.